What up, free bro? Salvation. Hey, you got many mansions. Think about salvation, get the dancing. My flesh vain, it's my heart not trouble, I will pain. We trust in Abba, he the one that kill your problems. We thinking Abba, now we know about that lava. These streets of gold, walking on that road, I can't sell my soul. Hell no, I'ma be the light everywhere I go. Ain't no vaccine up in the temple. The devil know that the most I dwelling in you. They tryna shoot you up, that should really offend you.
My cry for mercy as I call on you for help, as I lift up my hands towards your most holy place. I just wanna be worthy. I just wanna be
Shalawam, shalawam, shalawam. Let's give all praises, honor, glory, esteem to the Father YAHAWAH and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi. Shalawam, shalom, peace and blessings to all of the Ahchyam, the brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you. Please do the ministry a favor. Hit that subscribe, the bell, the like. And if you believe that this message is edifying, please share it with someone. Today we got a good one, as you can see. Watch and pray, because the end is coming. And I think a lot of people, how can I put this? I believe a lot of people think and feel that you can still be somewhat part of the world when you give your life to Hamashiach Yahawashi, and both of those things don't mix, right? So before I get started, I'm going to play the short video as always to give time for any brothers and sisters that may be trying to enter, you know, running a little behind. So I'm going to play this short video, and then as always, we're going to dive into the scriptures about watch and pray. Why? Because the end is coming. Once again, this video, the link is in the description box. If you like the video, it's in the description box, and I'll play it right here, right now.
The day of the Lord coming. Now it hope, now it peace. Bye. False prophet talk smooth, but the righteous burn hotter. Let's bring the heat. Is that 2 Peter 5? Truth never tired. Element melt, world in the pot. He coming back, not sweet but die. Heaven roll back, skies on fire. False teachers talk, we expose the liar. Law in my heart, spirit my wire. The righteous ride, wicked expire. Oh yeah, is that 2 Peter 5? They so.
Remember what those guys in purple were preaching about in 2 Peter? It's happening. What? Send out the men, hurry!
Time. We need to get ready.
This is what we trained for.
Stay sharp.
World in the pot. He coming back, not sweet but die. Heaven roll back, skies on fire. False teachers talk, we expose the liar. Law in my heart, spirit my wire. The righteous rise, wicked expire. Oh yeah, it's that 2 Peter fire. They love pleasure more than faith. Mock the truth but can't escape. They walking after lust and hate. I full of sin, that's their fate. Why the judge man suffer, stand tall. We wait on new heaven, new earth that call. Element burns, fall. Prophecy real, no myth at all. Every word revealed by flame. No more shame, no more rain. The day of the Lord, judgment rain. Ain't no peace with them that profane. So I move clean, watch and pray. Keep my sword sharp every day. The world pass, but you gon' stay. He coming back with fire slay. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. The heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Does that 2 Peter 5, truth never die. Element, world in a pie. He coming back, not sweet but die. Heaven roll back, skies on fire. False teachers talk, we expose a liar. Law in my heart, spirit my wire. The righteous rise, wicked expire. It's that 2 Peter fire. Righteous and rain. New heaven, new earth. The wicked had their seed. New heaven, new earth. Now the kingdom burns clean. All praises to the Most High.
All praises be to the Most High. Once again, all praises be to the Most High. Let's dive into these scriptures. I'm sharing it on the screen in the King James Bible. Let's turn to the book of Ecclesiastic Us. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. And this says, while the lesson says, watch and pray because the end is coming. See, a lot of people don't talk about that end. They talk about the rainbow skipping and Hamashiach Yahushua coming back, the anointed one, the one who walked the earth, shed his blood for you. And they think it's just going to be all peaches and cream. But we're going to read the Bible today, and we're going to show you inside the Bible what's going to happen on that day that he comes back, right? So this is the book of Ecclesiastic Us in the 1611 King James Bible, right? Chapter 41. And I'm going to start at verse 8. You can see it on the screen. If you don't have, if you're not paying attention on the screen, you can have your Bibles, your laptops, or you can just listen. It says, woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High, right? That have forsaken the law of the Most High. For if you increase, it shall be to your destruction. So just because you're increasing here in the earth and you're getting things here in the earth, things of value to you here in the earth that you want, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming from the Most High. It says right here, because the ungodly men, if they increase, is for their destruction. And we see a lot of men in this world that are ungodly, but yet they continue to what? Increase. They continue to gain what? Things of this world. But understand, when you see those things and these people get great value in this world, is for their what? Destruction. Let me blow this up just a little bit more. Yeah. It's for their destruction. And we have to understand that. I hit it. Verse 9. And if you be born, ye shall be born to a curse. And if ye die, a curse shall be your portion. See, they're not going to read this to you on the Sunday service, right? Because in that period of time, it's a lot of people that are sitting in those pews inside those congregations that are ungodly men or ungodly women. So they don't want to offend anybody because you would get up and leave, right? But that's not what the word is for. The word is to bring the truth out, whether it offends you or not. Matter of fact, the word should offend you. That's how you know you're getting cut up. That way you can be reproved, and what? You can change those ways. That's the whole purpose of you going to hear the word, to get instructions on how to what? Live your life here on the earth. Reproofs of instructions. That's the way of what? Life. That's in the book of Proverbs. Verse 10. All that are of the earth shall turn to the earth again. So the ungodly shall go from a curse to what? Destruction. from a curse to destruction. So all of these people that you see walking around in the earth, you have to understand these people are cursed, and their end is going to be destruction if they are not serving the Most High and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, the Anointed One. It may look like they having fun. It may look like they living a good life, but that's their curse. Remember Job 9:24, this world has been given into the hands of who? The wicked. And it's their what? Destruction that's going to come upon them. Verse 11, the mourning of men is about their bodies. That's why people go to funerals, to view the body. Then they get to crying, getting emotional, But what are they getting emotional about? Why are they crying? Why are they going through all of these different feelings? It's because of that body. Because they're not dead as you think they are. They are not dead. They are just asleep. And the spirit, the rakah, that breath, that life has left and went to another dimension. So they're not dead. You will see them again at another point in time in life. But because the body is not up and moving around and speaking, you are mourning over that physical body. The mourning of a man is about their bodies, but an ill name of a sinner shall be blotted out. Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold. So the Bible is saying you should be more concerned about your name than that body, because your name is going to continue with you. And if you know anything, this is why the children of Israel, when they come into the truth in that name that was given to you by your parents, most of us, if not all of us, we change our names because we understand the name means something. The name means a whole lot. That's why when you read the Bible from Genesis all the way to Revelation, those names that are used in the Bible, as you speak about John and Peter and Bartholomew and Paul, and those are not their names. Those are English names. When you say Isaiah and Jeremiah, those are not their names. That's an English name. But when you go back to the Hebrew, their names are totally different. And most of them, if not all of them, their names end with what? Yah. Giving glory to the Most High. Like David. It's not David. Some people pronounce it Dawid. Danya Allah. There's many different names within the Bible, but those names that we use today here are English names. Verse 13. A good life hath but a few days, but a good name endureth forever. So your life only has a few days. That's how the Most High looks at it. Remember, 1,000 years to him is as one day. And we don't live for 1,000 years. It's not like the ancient times where Adam and Methuselah and them, they was living for 960 years, 930 years. So we don't even live that long for 1,000 years, which is still considered one day to the Most High. One day. We live now maybe 60, 70. A lot of our young people are getting slaughtered and murdered in the streets at a young age, 19, 20, 15, 30. So that's even smaller. But your name will endure forever. And we know this even in the world. Look at these big kingpins that they make movies about. Scarface and all of these different people that are kingpins or drug lords in the world that are dead now, long gone, but yet they still make movies, they still make books, they still have things to read about. Their name still continues on, even in an evil way. So imagine if you live as they would call a godly life for the Most High, how your name will continue on. We still talking about Hamashiach Yahawashi this day. He's been dead for thousands of years. Well, I don't want to say dead, but he's been taken off the earth, resurrected, standing on the right hand of the Father. And he's been off the earth for thousands of years. And yet we still proclaim his name this very day. I'm doing it right now, May 19th, 2026. And his name will still continue on when I'm long and gone. Long and gone, somebody else will take up the torch and proclaim his name and proclaim the gospel and the truth. Verse 14, my children, keep discipline in peace, for wisdom that is hid, a treasure that is not seen, what profit is in them both? Don't hide your wisdom. Don't hide your knowledge. Don't hide your understanding that the Most High has given you through the Holy Spirit, through the Kodash Rakah. Let your light shine everywhere you go. Let your light shine. Do not be scared of this world or the people that are in this world. If that was the case, look at all of our brothers and sisters in ancient times that laid down their life for us, and they wasn't scared. They believed in the Most High, and they believed in his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushai, and they laid down their life. Just as they did, we must do. Verse 15, a man that hideth his foolishness is better than a man that hideth his wisdom. Understand that. You have been chosen out of all these people in the world, billions and billions of people in the world. You have been chosen, and he has revealed his truth to you. So please do not hide the wisdom that has been given to you. Watch and pray, because we know that that day of the Most High is coming. He's sending his only begotten son back. And there's a lot of people in the earth who do not believe it. Let me get something else in the Apocrypha while we're here. Let me go to 2nd Ezra. Let's turn to 2nd Ezra real quick, chapter 8. Turn there with me. 2nd Ezra, chapter 8. And we're going to go to verse 46. 2nd Ezra, chapter 8. Jump all the way down to verse 46 for me. Second Ezra 8:46, it says, did answer he me and said, things present are for the present, and the things to come for such as be to come. Right? 47. For thou comest far short that thou shouldest be able to love my creature more than I. This is an angel speaking to Ezra. But I have oftentimes drawn nigh unto thee, and unto it, but never to the unrighteous. He has never drawn close to the unrighteous people of this world. Verse 48. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself, as it become thee, or becometh thee, and hast thou not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. Verse 50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in their latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. How come nobody reads this in the congregation, in the church on Sunday morning? Are they telling their congregation that many, however you want to put it, great miseries shall be done to them that are in the latter time, the people that shall dwell on the earth, dwell in the world? Because why? They walked in great pride. 51, but understand thou for thyself, whoever watches this now or at a later time, understand for yourself. Understand for yourself. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And what I mean by that is not everyone is not going to understand this. Everyone is not going to understand this. But the Malach, the angel, says, but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. You want to be around like-minded people that have the same understanding that you have. Seek out the ones that are on the level that you are on or even higher. Because everybody doesn't have this understanding. Everybody has different gifts and everybody has different understanding. Everything is revealed to people in a different way. This is why in 1 Corinthians, Paul said, hey, I wanted to come and I wanted to share with you guys me. I wanted to give you a lot of information, spiritual information, but you guys are still on milk. So I couldn't even share what I wanted to share with you because you are still babies. You're still on milk. You still have Similac around your mouth. And you have to understand that not everybody understands and knows what you know. Because some people are spiritually babies. They're still on milk. Paul writes about that in the book of 1 Corinthians. You can go there. 52. For unto you is paradise open. Unto you, the tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded and rest is allowed. Yeah. Perfect goodness and wisdom. All praises be to the Most High. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and moth is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past. There's no more sadness in the earth. And in the end, it shewed the treasure of immortality. All praises. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we put our trust and faith in, to be resurrected with the only begotten Son and live forever in that body. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. Meaning all of these people on the earth, this multitude of people who don't believe in the Most High and don't believe in his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, who walked the earth, got hung on a tree, shed his blood for you, spit on, mocked, ridiculed, a crown of thorns, pierced on the side. The angel said, don't ask no more questions about these people. You know why? In 56, it says, for when they had taken liberty, freedom, they despised the Most High, meaning they despised the Father, thought scorn of his law. Scorn means like the lowest thing. It was worthless. It was nothing to them. And forsook his ways and said, basically, his ways are nothing. They're worthless. 57, moreover, they trodden down his righteous, meaning the people that were trying to live right in a godly way. We call them saints. They stepped all over them. They treated them like nothing, like garbage, like trash. They oppressed them. 58, and said in their heart, who? These ungodly people who do not believe in the Most High and his only begotten Son, and said in their heart that there is no power, G-O-D, that there is no power. Yeah, and that knowing, they know this, everybody that's born on the earth know this, that they what? Must die. They know they must die. Everybody that's born upon the earth know that they're going to die one day. It's no big secret. 59. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. These ungodly people. For it was not his will that man should come to nothing. Verse 60. But they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them. They have defiled the name of him that made them. So they were created beings, created creatures. That's what we are. And we're unthankful. All these people walking around unthankful, don't even give honor, glory, and praise to the Most High for creating them, giving them life, breath. They were unthankful unto him, which prepared life for them. And you ask them, do you believe in the Most High? Do you believe in his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushai, the anointed one? And they'll tell you point blank to your face, no, I don't. I don't. And don't ask me about that stuff. Verse 61, it says, and therefore is my judgment now at hand. And this is why this lesson is called Watch and Pray. Watch and pray, because the end is coming. I don't care if it's 7,000 years from now, 20,000 years from now. The end will come one day. One day the end will come. And the word tells us to watch and pray. Be prepared for that day. Be prepared. Shalawam, Ahchwathyam, Dorothy, Thawada for being here. All praises be to the Most High. She says, Shalawam, Yasharala. Also, Khan. That's correct. Khan. All praises be to the Most High. Let's pull a few more. Right? Let's pull a few more. Let's go into it. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy. And I want to say this, don't let nobody take your shine away. Just because other people don't understand what's been given to you, don't let them take your shine away. If the Most High has revealed it to you and you have that understanding, all praises be to the Most High. Like I said in the book of Corinthians, Paul came and he wanted to give what? Meat to the people. He wanted to give them spiritual stuff, deep stuff. But people couldn't understand it. Why? Because they were on milk. And when people are on milk, when things they don't understand, they run away from, or they talk about you, or they put you down, or they slander you because they lack the understanding. They lack the understanding. You can't knock them that they lack the understanding, but sometimes it does, get emotional. Like Paul said, man, I came to give you spiritual meat and you guys are on milk. What are you doing? You should already know these things, but people just don't know. So that's why I felt compelled to go through this today about watch and pray, because the end is coming. Deuteronomy 4:1, it says, now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes, unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that you may live, and go and possess the land which Yahweh your power of the fathers giveth you. See, when you read this, you think it's talking about that physical place, Israel, which it is, but it's twofold because it's talking about the kingdom. Because where's the kingdom going to be? Where's the kingdom of heaven? Everybody always looking up in the sky, and this is no, it's right here. That's why it says a new heaven and a new earth. If you listen to the song, the video that I played, or you read it in the book of Revelations, where is the kingdom of heaven? The kingdom of heaven is in Israel. That's why it says when his son come back, where is he going to be? In Zion. That's why when you watch these movies, they know. When you watch the movie Matrix, what are they talking about? Zion. If you go back and watch the movie The Matrix and see what they're talking about in the names that they use and where all these people are that are awakened as they woke Neil up, right? And where were they going? To Zion. This is where all the people that are woke at. This is where they are, in Zion. Anyway, verse 2, you shall not add to the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish out from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yahweh your power, which I command you. Now, when people read this in the book of Revelations, they think that it's something new. In the last chapter of the book of Revelations, when you go there, let me show you real quick. Let me just show it, and then we'll come right back to Deuteronomy. Let me find it. Right here in verse 19, it says, let me put it bigger on the screen, right? Revelation 22 and 19. If any man shall take away from the words of this book, of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part in the book of life. And out of the Quadash, what? City. Talking about Jerusalem. And from all, what? And from the things which are written in this book. So it's basically saying the same thing that's written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 2. If you add or take away, the Most High gonna get up with you. Because everything that's written in this book, people need to know. So when they was having those councils back then, the Council of Nicaea, the Council of this, the Council of that, and men were getting together saying, hey, this is what we're going to put in the Bible. This is what we're going to take out of the Bible. This is what, just like in the 1611, some men got together in the Protestant church and they said, hey, we're going to take out these books in the Apocrypha, and then we're going to put these books in. You cannot do that. You can't do that. So all the men that ever got together and did that, they're going to have these plagues on them. And they're going to be taking out the book of life because you can't do those things. So all that's written in Revelation, it just goes back to the Torah. Verse 2, Deuteronomy 4 and 2, you shall not add unto the word, which they have. Anytime you add anything, and they did add, they added vowels, they added certain words. So they said they did those things to say, oh, well, this will help you read it better, understand it better. They added to the word, which I command you. And it has been going on. This is why when Hamashiach Yahushai came to the earth, this is why he called the Pharisees and the scribes. He was mad because what? They were adding to the word. Basically saying, hold it, he was sinning or breaking the law because he didn't wash his hands, or his disciple didn't wash their hands before they ate. Like he said, where's that written? Where's that at? That's an add-on. You added that on. That's not written in the Torah. That's not written in the law. You added. So it says right here, you shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish. And if you go back to the epistles in the New Testament, this is what Hamashiach Yahushai was saying. That, oh, y'all don't make things to diminish. Now, if a man takes money from his parents or doesn't give to his parents to help, and he said he's going to give it to the Most High or give it to the temple, it's okay. That's how you can kind of get around not giving money to the Most High, or giving money to your parents, I should say, to help them. Because you say, oh, I'm going to offer it to the temple. That's diminishing the word. Then he says in verse 3, your eyes have seen what Yahweh did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that followed Baal Peor, Yahweh thy power have destroyed them from among you. Basically, everybody that worships Satan, right? If you don't know who that is, that he's referring back to Numbers chapter 25, when our people were worshiping Moab deities. Let me show it real quick since I brought it up. Let's go there real quick. Just real quick to reference it. Numbers. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Just to reference it. Here it is. Numbers chapter 25, verse 1. And it says, and Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of who? Moab. As we see, Moab. And they called the people unto their sacrifices unto who? Their deities. Their deities. And the people did eat and bow down to what? Their deities. These are the children of Israel, bowing down to who? Moab deities. And Israel joined himself unto who? Baal Peor. This is what the Most High is talking about in Deuteronomy chapter 4. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against who? Israel. Just as his anger is kindled against us today, because you were in those Christian churches bowing down to those images, especially if you in Catholicism or you a Catholic, kissing on them porcelain babies and statues and holding beads in your hand and praying to Mary and all this type of stuff, adding to the very word. Verse 4. And Yahweh said unto Moses, take, now this is why people don't like the Most High from the Old Testament. But he didn't just do these things just because. He did these things because people were going off. The children of Israel were going off and serving what? Other deities. So it's not like he just woke up and just gets mad and just, oh, do this. No. In verse 3, it says that what? The anger of Yahweh was kindled. They made him angry. Why? Because they were worshiping another deity other than him, of Moab. So in verse 4, Yahweh tells Moses to do what? He said, take all the heads of the people, chop their heads off, and hang them up before Yahweh against the sun, that the fierce anger of Yahweh may be turned away from Israel. So, yeah, he told Moses, hey, look, man, all those people that's bowing down to the Moab deity, go and chop their heads off and hang them up. So when I look that way, you know, I feel like, okay, you know, we doing something down there. It is somebody that stands for me down there. Everybody has not fallen, as it goes to like Genesis chapter 6, right? Numbers 25:5, and it says, and Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay every one his man that were what? Joined unto Baal Peor. It wasn't everybody. It wasn't all of the children of Israel. It was just those ones that what have joined themselves to this Moab deity and was bowing down to it. Just like you go into these churches or these congregations or camps and people bow down to certain men, bow down to statues, give honor and glory to somebody else other than the Father and the only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. So don't think that the anger of the Most High is turned against you or turned away from you. If you're giving honor to anybody else other than him and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, he's angry with you. This is why you're supposed to watch and pray, stay in alignment, stay where you're supposed to be. So when we look at this in Deuteronomy 4 and 3, and he's talking about Baal Peor, this is what he's talking about. Your eyes have seen what Yahweh did. What did they see? Hey, Moses and the judges chopped them dudes' heads off and hang them up. You seen what happened. You seen what happened. But he says right here, this is the most important part right here. For all the men that follow Baal Peor, Yahweh thy power have destroyed them from among you. But ye that did cleave unto Yahweh your power, so the ones that believed in the Most High, like Moses and all of the rest, and the judges that cleaved unto Yahweh and wasn't bowing their knee to that Moab deity, he says what? The Most High Yahweh says, you are a what? Alive. Every one of you this day. Every one of you this day. You guys are alive. But the other ones that was bowing the knee, no, they gone. We slaughtered them. We chopped their heads off. Then he tells you in verse 5, behold, I have taught you statutes, judgment, even as Yahweh my power commanded me. This is Moses speaking, that you should do them in the land where you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of all the people, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great people is a wise and understanding people. And if you don't have this and know this, then you're not wise. And you don't have understanding. You just don't have it. Paul says, I was alive once without the law. But basically, he was a fool because he didn't know what covenant was. And once he started to find out all these things, he said, this stuff killed thee in the inside because he was alive once without it. We all was. But now that we come to the truth and understanding, it has been revealed to us. Now that you have wisdom and some understanding, you can't believe what these people prior have told you in these churches and congregations and even in these camps to say, hey, you don't need that law. It's done away with. It was nailed to the cross. That's a lie. Why would Hamashiach Yahushua deliver this and then take it away? If it was going to be taken away, it was no reason to deliver it. And if that's the case, why are we going to be keeping the same law in the kingdom? When you think about this, it says the kingdom of heaven. When it's a kingdom, there has to be a king that reigns over that. What king is that? Is going to be Hamashiach Yahushua, the anointed one. And in the kingdom, a king has what? Rules, laws. Just like we have where we live now is considered a kingdom, and they have laws and regulations. And if you break those laws, you go where? To the courthouse to be what? Judged and sentenced. It's the same thing in the kingdom of heaven. There are going to be laws. What laws? The same laws that we have right now. There's not going to be any different laws. It's the same laws that we have now. That's why it says in the book of Zechariah, if you don't come and worship the king on the what? The Feast of Tabernacles, I believe. That he's going to send a plague against you. He's going to send a plague against you. The Aqua Dorothy says, I'm learning Paleo Hebrew, the Lashawan Quadash, the Quadash tongue, all praises, the water, all praises be to the Most High for that one. Calm. And just remember, anytime you start to learn the Paleo Hebrew, right, which is the ancient Hebrew, there are going to be other people who speak the modern Hebrew, right? Yiddish, are the ones with the Nukud system, which is the vowel system. And they always going to say, you know, that this is not proper Hebrew, you know, but hey, when we read the ancient text, there were no vowels implanted in there. There were no things in there. There was no Nukud. Men came along, as I just read in Deuteronomy 4:2, and added that. And you can look that up. All you got to do is do a little research, and you will find that man came along and added a vowel system to the word of the Most High because they couldn't understand it. These other nations, it wasn't Israelites, it was the other nations that came along. I believe it was a school of Tiberius, if you look into that, right? In the third, well, really about the 4th and 5th century. And this is what they did. They called the Masoretes. They came in and they started to add these vowels and things like that. So, hey, I encourage people to learn both, you know, and that's why it's the modern Hebrew, which is called block Hebrew, which is the Hebrew that we have today that came from what? Out of captivity. That was something that came later out of captivity, and that's why they call it block letter Hebrew, because it's a different writing. So we went from the pictographic to paleo to the block letter. You get what I mean? So it's a lot in there. But if possible, I always tell people to learn both. So those people to be like, oh, no, you know, that's not real Hebrew. Man, you could be like, I know both. I know the Lashawan Kodash, and I know the modern Hebrew, the one with the vowels in it. So regardless of the fact, I speak it both, and I know Hebrew. So no matter what you say, I know what it is that you're saying. That's why on some words, I always revert back to the modern to let people know, like, oh, yeah, I know what it says in the modern Hebrew, or you guys will say Yiddish or whatever it is that you guys speak. But I always refer back to the Lashawan Kodash because I believe that that's the ancient writing. So all praises be to the Most High, Yahawah, for that. Khan. Let's get into some of this New Testament. Let's go to the book of Matthew real quick. Matthew chapter 26 with Hamashiach Yahushua, verse 41. Right? Just going to go right to the meat of it. It's not going to be a long one today. No, people got places to go, things to do, people to see, plantations, all kind of stuff. Right? Matthew 26 and 41, it says what? Watch and pray. That's what this whole lesson is about today. Through the Rakat, through the Spirit, through the Kodash Rakat, the Holy Spirit. Watch and what? Pray that you enter not into temptation. It says what? The Rakat, the Spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Letting you know it's always a battle between the flesh and the Spirit. The flesh is always willing to serve the Most High Yahawah because it's from the Most High Yahawah. So it's always willing to serve the Father. But it's the flesh that wants to do what it wants to do. You know, simply, it's just the flesh. But Hamashiach Yahushua told us to do what? Watch and pray. So that's something that we must do. Keep our eyes open, right? Keep your eyes open, stay watchful, and pray constantly. Always praying, staying in prayer. That's a beautiful thing. Let's jump to Luke. Luke chapter 21. Luke 21. Luke chapter 21. And we're going to jump down to, let me see. Luke 21 and 34. Luke 21 and 34, it says, and take heed to yourselves, lest any time your hearts be overcharged with the suffering and drunkenness, cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Why is it going to come as a snare? A snare is what? A trap. It says, for as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the earth. Everybody. Your brothers, your sisters, your mama, your daddy, your uncles, your cousin, your nieces, your nephews, your co-workers, everybody. Your husband, your wife, everybody. Your grandmother, your grandfather, your great-grandmother, everybody. It's not just for a particular people. It says everybody. As a snare shall it count, it's going to come on them. A snare. What does it say in 36? Watch ye therefore. The Bible is always telling us to watch. Watch ye therefore. And what? Pray always. This is not something new. It's not something that I just came up with. I said, oh, I want to do a lesson and tell people to watch and pray. This is something that I came up with. No. Luke was saying this. Peter was saying this. Bartholomew was saying this. Matthew was saying this. James was saying this. Hamashiach Yahushua was saying this. Moses was saying this. Zechariah, Zephaniah, Nahum, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Jonah. Everybody in the Bible was saying what? Watch and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before who? The Son of Man, our brother, Hamashiach Yahushua. You got to be watchful. And it says, and pray always. Not sometime. Oh, I prayed on Monday, but what's today? Tuesday. I didn't pray today yet. Yeah, I prayed. I prayed when we was at Shabbat class, but today is Tuesday. I ain't prayed, in a couple days. It says always, always. There should not be a day or any time that goes by where you haven't prayed to the Most High, got on your knees to the Most High, put your face to the ground for the Most High. Now, I understand you have some elders, you have some people that are older that cannot get down on their knees and put their face to the ground. Believe me, the Most High understand that. But if you are able to do it, then you should do it. You should do it. Because it shows your humbleness, humility, and it shows that you are submitting to the Father and the only begotten Son by getting on your knees and bowing your face to the ground. That's what you do to the King, to give honor and glory to him. Verse 37, and in the day, time he was teaching in the temple, And at night he went out and abode in the mount that is called what? The Mount of Olives. So Hamashiach was always in the temple, basically every day, teaching in the temple. That's what his job was. That's what he did. He didn't have anything else to do. You know, I was just having a conversation with somebody, and it was like, you know, about talking about people of today, of the world, you know, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a whatever, police officer, dentist, whatever. You have to understand, when these men and women, they had lives before they came into the truth. So yeah, just like Peter was a fisherman, Luke was a physician, but when they came to the truth, Matthew was a tax collector. When Hamashiach Yahushua approached these men and said, "Come and follow me," they wasn't that anymore. They wasn't a physician anymore. Peter wasn't a fisherman anymore. Matthew wasn't a tax collector. He didn't work for the IRS no more. That's why they said we have given up everything. House, car, well, they didn't have cars, but houses, family members, wives, children. We have forsaken all to come and follow you. What does that mean? Everything that we had in our life prior, before we came into the truth, before we knew you, before we knew the Messiah, Hamashiach Yahushua, we have given up. So whatever you were prior, before, you're not that anymore. Now you are a servant of the Most High and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushua. And what do? You teach the word daily, just as Hamashiach Yahushua did. And since we don't have a temple to actually go to, we just share the word wherever we at. Some ox go to the highways and byways. Some people do it on an online platform. Some people, you know, they do it privately, one-on-ones or whoever they encounter. But we see Hamashiach Yahushua, he went to the temple every morning. It says, and all the people came early in the morning to him in the temple. To what? For to hear him. That's where the people were going every morning. Every morning they was going to the temple. Let me see if it say every morning. Let me, because you know somebody might say, oh, we don't say every morning. Oh, here it is right here. The NLT, right? NIV, ESV. It says every day Yahushua went to the temple to teach. And each evening he returned to spend the night on the Mount of Olives. You can see it says each day, and every day. Every day he was what? Teaching. That was his job. That was his task. So if that's what you are, that's what you should be doing. If you someone who walks as Hamashiach Yahushua walk, this is what you should be doing. This is what I mean, that they wasn't that anymore. They wasn't physicians and doctors and fishermen and tax collectors and whatever they were prior. They wasn't that after they came into the truth. Because you don't have time for that stuff no more. Those are things of the world. Now, do we need those type of people in the world? Of course we do. Of course we do. We need those type of people in the world. We need people to build buildings, and we need people to take care of us as physicians and things like that. But those are people that the Most High has set up in the world for that. It explains that. Let me see if I can get this real quick. It explains it. Let me show it real quick. It explains it in great detail in the book of, let me see. This is the book of Sirach. Let's go to Ecclesiastic Us, chapter 38, I believe. Okay, right here. I started 24, right? It says the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. And he that have little business shall become wise. Little business. I mean, you don't have a lot to do. You don't have nothing to really do. You don't have a 40-hour a week job or a 60-hour a week job or an 80-hour a week job. And some people do work 80 hours a week. You know, they working 12, 14, 15 hours a day, or if not more. But it says the wisdom of a learned man cometh by the opportunity of what? Leisure. Verse 25. How can he get wisdom and holdeth the plow? And the glory in that driveth ox or oxen, and as a company in their labors, and whose talk is of what? Bullocks. So it's saying these type of man, if you out in the work field and you out in the field or you out in the workforce as it is today, working 60, 70 hours, 90 hours, 20, whatever you working, it's saying how can these type of people get wisdom? 26. He giveth his mind to make pharaohs, and is diligent to give 9 fodder. So every carpenter and workmaster that laboreth night and day, and they that cut and grave seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and give themselves to counterfeit imagery, and watch to finish a work, the smith. So now it's going to go into the detail back then of people that do this type of work. The smith, right? He's sitting by what? That fire, and considering the ironwork, the vapor of the fire, wasting away his what? Flesh. Fighteth with the heat of the furnace, the noise of the hammer going into his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watcheth to polish it perfectly. So doeth the potter sitting his work, turning the wheel about with his feet, who is always carefully to set at his work, and maketh all his work by number. He fashioned the clay with his arm. So it's going into details, and it's going to tell you about all of these different type of people. But what I just want to get right here says 31. And these trust to what? Their hands. Everyone is wise in his work. Welders, pipe fitters, doctors, physicians, lawyers, police officers, firemen, cooks, chefs, right? They trust in their work. They're wise in their work because that's what they have put their time into. And it says in verse 32, without these cannot a city be inhabited. So you need those type of people for the city to be built up and inhabited. But listen to what it says. And they shall not dwell where they will, no, nor go up and down. Verse 33. They shall not be sought for in the public council, nor sit in the high congregation. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare what? Justice and judgment. And they shall not be found where parables are spoken. Now, when Hamashiach Yahawashi came to this earth, what did he speak in? What did he speak in? Did he not speak in parables? He did not talk to the people without speaking in a parable. Every time he spoke in what? A parable. So if it's telling you that these type of men that have these type of professions or these type of jobs in this world and do these things in this world, and they won't be found where parables are, if they don't know what the parable means or what's being said, then that means that they're not man of the Most High. And what I mean by that is teaching the word of the Most High. That's what I'm saying. Those men were set up to do things in the earth like build buildings, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a fireman, be those things. But if you are sent here to be a man of the Most High, then you have a whole different calling. You can't be building buildings and be a man of the Most High. You don't have time for that once you come into the truth. You can't be a man of the Most High and be a lawyer. You don't have time for that. Verse 34. But they will maintain the state of what? The world. And all their desire is in what? The work of their craft. Whether you're a brain surgeon, whether you're a heart surgeon, a plastic surgeon, like I say, lawyer, doctor, or even if you just a man at the that own Target or, you know, McDonald's or whatever your craft is, whatever you into, you know, that's what your desire and your drive is. But a man of the Most High and his only begotten son of the Hamashiach Yahushua, our desire, our drive is to bring forth the word. Like I desire that. I desire that I don't have to go and serve and do nothing else but serve the Most High and bring forth the word every day. Like Hamashiach Yahushua did, like Peter did, like all the apostles did. That's what they went and did. They brought forth the word every day. You know, so I just wanted to show that. But let's get back into let's go to 2 Peter, what the whole video was about. So yeah, you need those type of people in the world, but you as a person of the Most High, and this is why it's so hard, you know, at times, you know, when you follow Hamashiach Yahushua, because you have to sacrifice everything, and then it's like, well, you know, I need to live in this world, so I gotta work. Yeah, he say a man that don't work, you know, don't eat. So what do? You know, and you might have a family, you got kids, you know, it's just a lot. It's a lot, you know, but you got to know the word, and what the word say, that's what you got to do. That's why I try to push forward, you know, every day. And then somebody was talking to me a couple days ago, and they was like, you know, because they didn't really know me like that. They was just talking. They said, oh, you know what? You got a calling on your life. You know, this might be your lot, you know, talking about ministry, because they didn't really know me. And I'm like, I said, that's my first thing. That's my first job. I don't look at what I do for, you know, for money as my first job. That's not my first love. That's not no. I do that because I have to do that. And that's just the way that I need to provide for my family and live at this present time. And I hope and pray one day that the Most High deliver me from that to where I don't have to do that. I can just focus solely on his word. That's my desire. But like I was telling that person, no, my first desire, my first everything is the ministry. That's what's first to me. When I get up in the morning, that's the first thing I do. It's about the ministry, it's about the word. And when I say ministry, it's not my ministry, it's the ministry of the Most High. It's the word of the Most High. And his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushua. So I don't look at it like other people do in their churches, congregation, their ministry. No, this is Hamashiach Yahushua's ministry. I just entered into it. It's not my ministry. I didn't do anything to build this up. Like he said, we entered into other men's labor. I'm just putting my brick in, just like everybody else put their brick in. We're building something. And we continue to build. I do mine, and then when I die and pass on, somebody else will come and pick up the torch and they'll do their work. And then when they die and pass on, as it says in the Bible, one man soweth, another one reapeth. All I'm doing is sowing the seed. Somebody else gonna come along and reap it or sow more, and that's how it is. This is what Peter is saying in 2 Peter 3:1. Let's read it. This second epistle, which means this second letter, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which to what? Stir up your pure minds by the way of what? Remembrance, meaning you already know this, but I want to kind of stir you up, shake you up, that you may be what? Merciful, or Salakia, mindful of the words which were spoken before by the Kodash prophets. Now, what does he mean by that? What is he talking about? He's talking about the Old Testament, the Old Covenant. This is what he's talking about. All of the words that the prophets left behind for our learning. He says that you may be what? Mindful. Think on this, of the words which were spoken before by who? The Kodash, the holy, the sanctified, what? Prophets. And what? Of the commandment of us, the apostles. Of who? The Adon and Savior, our master and Savior. Now here it is. You can see it on the screen. The day of Yahawah. He's coming. And he's sending his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, back. Verse 3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust. Brothers and sisters, I call on you to know this very verse right here. 2 Peter 3:3. Do not be deceived. Do not let these people come and change your view, change the way you think, or change the way you feel about the Most High and his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahawashi. Peter is letting us know. He's letting us know, knowing this first. You have to know this, brothers and sisters. Ahchyam, Ahchwathyam, you have to know this, that there shall come in the last days. And if you believe we're in the last days, then this is it. It says scoffers. They're going to come walking after what? Their own lust. This is why I said the other day when I did the lesson, if you want to find a church or a congregation or a camp or whatever, where you feel comfortable in your lust and they don't preach about it, tell you about it, and you can go there and socialize and feel good and still, feel like you're getting the word. They have places like that. That's why so many denominations and things like they have that. If whatever you want to be a part of and still live in your lust, it's somewhere out there that you can find. You can find it. 2 Peter 3:4. And saying, where is the promise of his coming? Speaking about Hamashiach Yahawashi. For since the fathers have fallen asleep or fell asleep, right? They died. All things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this, they willingly are ignorant. I say this all the time. We're not trying to speak bad about anybody, but these people are what? Ignorant to the fact that by the word of the Most High, the Shemayim were of old, and the Arataza standing out, which is the earth standing out of the water and in the water. What is it speaking about? The flood in Genesis 6, whereby the world that was then being overflowed with what? Water perished. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about the flood. 40 days and 40 nights when it rained on the earth, and everything that was on the earth perished except Noah, his sons, and the family. Verse 7. But the Shemayim and the Arataza, which are now by the same word, are kept in store and reserved. That's why I played that video in the beginning. And if you watch the video, you can see it. It's reserved unto what? Fire against the day of judgment and perdition for who? Ungodly man. Ungodly man. So you have fire that is reserved. Verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing. This is why I said earlier that one day is with the Adonai as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. So you may think, or people may think, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. But when you think about it, YAHAWAH been gone for a couple thousand years, 2,000 years and some change. But that's really only 2 days. You feel like it's a long time because of the time that we're in. Just like people feel like they've been on this earth for a long time when they're 60 and 70. But that's not a long time. That's not even one day to the Most High. I think Methuselah lived 996 or 69 or something like that. Adam lived 930. Those was like 1 day to him. And that's probably why they lived that long, because it was just like a day to him. And Adam lived 930 years after he came out the garden. Not even including the garden. This is after he came out the garden. It said 930 years, which is just really almost 1 day to the Most High. Verse 9. It says, Yahweh is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering towards us, right? Not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to what? Repentance. Now here it is where it says a new Shemayam and a new what? Arataza, or heaven and earth in English. Now, why are we saying new? Because it has to be renewed. It has to be renewed. It has to be purged. That's why the fire is reserved, because he's going to come with the fire and purge out what? All of the evil wickedness. And he's going to make every knee on earth bow down. Every knee. Verse 10. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night. Why is he going to come as a thief in the night? Because it's basically in a parable format, once again, that he never spoke just straight. It was always in a parable format. As I just broke down Sirach 38, those men that are given to other type of jobs and things of this world, they could never understand what? The parables. They can never understand it. This is why when you hand that type of word over to those type of people, individual, they read it and they say, I don't understand nothing that it's saying. All this thou and thee and this. I don't understand it. But you give it to a man of the Most High that's what? Walking with the Rakah, walking with the Quadash Rakah, walking with the Spirit. Then he has what? Wisdom and understanding. And it's open unto him. So that's why it's going to be like a thief for them in the night, because they don't know. It's going to come upon them suddenly. In which, what? The Shemayam shall pass away with a great noise. What noise is that going to be? The trumpet. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. They're going to be burnt up. All these beautiful buildings that these people are building, all of this work that they're putting in all over the world. You see them putting in, building skyscrapers, gold, leaves, and all this stuff all over the world. People spending billions and billions. I just seen on the news that they building a new Hard Rock casino in Las Vegas. And they said it's going to cost about $5 to $6 billion. Then they building a brand new baseball stadium in Las Vegas for the A's. I guess it's going to be the Las Vegas A's now, right? We're talking about $6-7 billion. All that's going to be burnt up. They spending all that money, wasting all that time, effort, and everything of things in this world. And the Most High say he's going to burn it all up. He's going to destroy it all. This is how it's read in the New Living Translation, in the NLT. Let me read some of this. The Aqua Dorothy said, for me, it's about lifestyle and culture. This covenant has become my culture, my lifestyle, and purpose. No covenant, no purpose. Con. She also says, you ain't lying about that. If you want it, you can find it in Babylon. Con. Border of what? Wickedness, for sure. So whatever you want, that's why I say you can find it. Whatever you want out here in Babylon, you can find it and still think that you serving the Most High. That's the dangerous part of it. You can find it and still think you serving the Most High. This is why he says, when Hamashiach Yahushua, this is why he says, many shall say to me on that day, Master, Master, have I not prophesied in your name? Have I not casted out devils in your name? Have I not did this in your name? And he's going to say, depart from me, you who work what? Iniquity. That word iniquity is what? Lawlessness. So yeah, like the Aqua said, Sister Dorothy, you can find it. That don't mean that you really serving the Most High and his son. You have to know truth to serve him. That's why it says in John 4:22 on down, he's looking for who? Those is going to worship him in the Rakah, which is the spirit, and in truth. She said, Khan, it feels like eternity. Khan, like an eternity. Khan. Meanwhile, homelessness is in abundance. Shake my head. Right. The way they only spending money there to bring more evilness to it, more wickedness to it, and to make more revenue off of their wickedness. That's why it is. Yeah, their priorities are all off out of course, as the Bible says in Psalms 82:5. The whole foundation of this world is out of what? Whack. Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Homelessness is everywhere. People living on the streets don't got nowhere to live, kids and everybody, and yet you spending $6 billion on a stadium. You spending $6 billion on a hotel. Why? For the wicked to come and do what they're going to do in wickedness, right? And this is why the Most High is going to purge all that, and as he said, burn it all up. God. He's going to destroy it all. But men take hours. Look at all of the work that people do for those projects. And that's what I was trying to explain. Those type of men and women that are part of those things, they are not, how can I say this? Just as it said in Sirach 38, those people do not have the parables of the Most High. They will not be part of the judgment of certain things of the Most High. Why? Because their desire is for these things of this world, I should say. It's not the desire of the Most High. It's not the desire of his only begotten son, Hamashiach Yahushua. And it's, you know, people can say, well, that's you saying that. No, that's not me. Peter wrote this before I was even thought of in the womb. This is what Peter said. So if you got a problem, he's only saying what the Most High and Hamashiach Yahushua has told him to say. So if you got a problem with Peter, you got a problem with the Holy Spirit, you got a problem with the anointed one, Hamashiach Yahushua, the Messiah, and you got a problem with the Father. Because in verse 10 it says, but the day of Yahweh will come as unexpectedly as a thief. The Shemayim shall pass away with a terrible noise, which are the trumpets. The very elements themselves will disappear in what? Fire, and the earth and everything on it. Let me highlight this part. The earth and everything on it will be found to deserve what? Judgment. So since everything around us is going to be destroyed like this, what Quadash and godly lives should you live, knowing that everything around you is going to be destroyed? Who cares about that $6 billion hotel that they building? Who cares about that $6 million or $1 billion stadium that they building? Who cares LeBron got another contract for $212 million for 1 year? Who cares? He's going to die. That stadium that he plays basketball in is going to be destroyed. The car, the houses, everything that you own, everything here that's on earth is going to be destroyed. People work their whole lives to buy a house, and then they want a pool in the backyard. They want this and they want that, and they work their whole lives to build what they say, build a good life. not knowing that it's all going to be destroyed. You working for nothing. You're working for nothing. It's going to be destroyed. This is what Peter says. And if you knew that, Peter is basically saying, if you knew and understand that it's all going to be destroyed, what kind of life would you live then? Would you have that same desire and that same purpose and that same drive if you knew that your house, after you purchased it, after you bought it, after you did all these wonderful things, you put a pool, you put this, you put that, you put chandeliers, you got paint, you all this stuff you did, and then right after you finish, somebody come and set it on fire? Would you have that same desire? Would you have that same drive? No, you would only be a fool to have that same desire and drive. This is what Peter is saying. This is what he said. So if you don't have the desire for that, but you got the desire for the Most High, then it says what Quadash and godly lives you should live then. Because when you see people building that stuff up, it's foolishness. You just laugh at it like these people don't even know that when my father sends his son back, he's going to destroy all of this stuff. Yeah, it might be worth $5 billion now, but it's truly worthless. It's only worth $5 billion because a man said it's worth that. But when our brother comes back, he's going to destroy it, knock it down, set it on fire. Verse 12, looking forward to the day of Elohim and hurrying it along. On that day, he will set the Shemayim on fire, and the elements will melt away in flames. But we, who? The believers. But we are looking forward to a new Shemayim and a new Arataza. He has promised a world filled with Elohim's righteousness. No more deceit, no more lies, no more feeling deceived, no more none, just all righteousness. Verse 14, and so, dear friends, while you are waiting for these things to happen, make every effort to be found living peaceful lives that are pure and blameless in his sight. And remember, please remember this, brothers and sisters. Remember this. Remember, our Adon's patience gives people time to be saved. Be happy that the Most High hasn't sent his son back yet. Be happy. He gave you time because you wasn't always in the truth. You wasn't always living for his word, and he has given you time. So don't hurry it too much because, hey, what about all of the other brothers and sisters that ain't even been born yet? That haven't been called to the truth. What about them? Are you just worried about yourself, being selfish? Are you worried about all your brothers, all the Ahchyam, all of the Ahchwathyam? Those are here and those that have not been born yet. This is what our beloved brother Paul also wrote to you with the wisdom Elohim gave him. So Peter is letting you know Paul was writing the same exact thing. Speaking of these things in all of his letters, all of his epistles, some of his comments are hard to understand. This is why people get lost in the sauce when it comes to Paul, because it's hard to understand. Paul was on a high spiritual level. And if you don't have that, if you're not on his level, as I said earlier, it's not given to everybody. It's not revealed to everyone. So if you don't have that understanding and you're not on his level, then if you read his writings, if you read his letters, his epistles, you won't understand what he's saying. And this is why people go to Paul to say, hey, the law is done away with. We're not under the law anymore. We're this, we're that. This is because they don't have the understanding and they're reading something on milk. And Paul's letters are not milk. They're not milk. That's why right here, Peter's confirming that his letters are not milk. They are meat. You have to be on a high spiritual level to be able to understand. And he's going to say it right here. Let me highlight it. As those who are what? Ignorant and unstable have twisted his letters to mean something quite different. Period. Why? Because in the King James, it says that they are unlearned. Let me show it. It says that they are unlearned. Here it is in the King James. It says, as also in his epistle, speaking in them of the things in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are what? Unlearned and unstable, they wrestle with. So this is why you have people quoting Paul, saying Paul said the law was done away with and you don't need the law and this and that. And they're unlearned. They on milk. They don't know what they're talking about. And then they're twisting his words up because they're unstable. And then Peter says in King James, as they do also the other scriptures, unto what? Their own destruction. Not even realizing they're saying that. And they say, oh, he said that the law is done away with. We don't have to do that. Man, it's for their own destruction. They're doing that to their own self. It says, just as they do the other parts of the scripture, and this will result in what? Their destruction. Because they're banking on what Paul said, but not having the understanding and the discernment, spiritual discernment of what he's actually saying, because they are on milk, spiritual milk. And Paul was not on spiritual milk. Definitely wasn't. Neither was Peter. None of the apostles was. None of the prophets was. And he's saying if you don't have that understanding and the discernment, man, leave that stuff alone, because you go into stuff that you do not have discernment on, and you're twisting up the man's words, and it's going to result in your destruction. Not his, but yours. Because you don't have the understanding. This is why you're supposed to watch and pray. And I always tell people, before you read the word of the Most High, before you open up the Bible, pray for him to give you what? Understanding. You just can't open this thing up and just start reading. This is not a novel. This is not something you just go buy at Barnes and Nobles and say, oh, I want to read something. No, this is a spiritual book. Well, I'll say this. It's a spiritual word. And if you do not have the Rakah, or you're not praying to the Most High for him to open up your Rakah, your spirit, so to reveal to you the very word that's in here, because just because you see letters on a page does not mean you understand what's written in them. This is why people have it and do not understand it. They do not understand what is written. It means more than what it really is, because it's a spiritual word from on high. Anyway, verse 17. It says, you already know these things, dear friends, brothers and sisters. So be on guard. Be on guard. Watch, pray, right? Because the end is near. It's coming. So he says, be on guard. Then you will not be carried away by the errors of these wicked people and lose your own secure footing. Rather, you must grow in the grace and knowledge of who? Our Adon and Savior, YAHAWAH HaMashiach. All glory to him, both now and forever. Ahchyam. All praises be to the Most High. He's telling you, be careful. Don't lose your footing dealing with these people, because they don't understand what they're talking about. They really don't. And you have to make sure that a man is truly has the Rakah and the spirit of the Most High in him, that's revealing the word to you, that you listening to. And this is why he said, you will know my people by their fruit. You have a one that's a true shepherd, and then you have one that's a hireling. He gives you that parable. When a wolf comes, the hireling runs off. But the true shepherd lays down his life for who? His sheep. Letting you know there's a lot of people that are hired. They don't care about you. They just want to check. They just want to get your money. Those are hirelings, as it speaks about in the parable. But the one that's really there for you, he will do everything. He will lay down his life for you. This is Revelation chapter 16, real quick. The Aqua Authority said, Khan is going to melt. Remember Ezekiel, Khan. Store up your treasures in the Shemayim, Khan. And then she says, use your gifts to build our future. Kwam Yasharala, Kwam, all praises. And then I don't know who this is. He says, God, we don't, the deity God is not YAHAWAH. I never said he was, I don't know what you mean by that, but we don't consider God YAHAWAH, or as you said, the J word. We don't use the J word over here. So I don't know what you mean. You just kind of jumping into something. I mean, I don't even know what you're saying, because we don't use God or we don't use the J letter over here. So, I guess try to figure something else out if you want to say something, but your comment is on the screen, but we don't use God and we don't use the J. And I agree with you on what you're saying. He's not God. So I don't know what you mean by that. So, come back with something else. Anyway, Revelation chapter 16, verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of who? The false prophet. Remember, the frogs were from what? When we go back to Exodus, that was one of what? The plagues about the frogs. And they came out the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet, which means they're all coinciding together. And it stems from who? The dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. Watch this. 14. For they are the spirits of who? There you go. Devils. Not one, but plural. Meaning there's a lot of them. You see it on the screen. And we know this. I mean, it's not nothing new. We know it's demons everywhere. Everywhere. But what are they doing? It says working miracles. So every time you see a miracle here in the world, in the earth we live in, don't think that it's the Most High. Don't think that it's the Most High. It says, which go forth unto what? The kings of the who? Earth. Where are these spirits of the devil? These demonic spirits? Where are they going? Who are they searching out? Who are they searching to be a part of? It says basically the rulers of the earth, because a king is a ruler. So the ruler of the earth, all of the rulers of the earth that you see when they get together and all, those are all demonic spirits really getting together. When you only see the physical body when Trump and all these other leaders of the world get together, and governors and all of these people. These are actually demonic spirits getting together, feeding off of one another. This is why they have those conversations, as they said, private. It says, and of the what? Whole world. Because there's demonic spirits on everyone. Everyone. And when I say everyone, everyone. On your dogs, on your cats, on children, babies, your parents, your sons, your daughters, the people at the grocery store, the people when you stop off at a fast food restaurant that bring you your food, somebody dash door, whatever you get, it's evil spirits on everyone. And every time you come into contact with people, you may be coming into contact with an evil what? Spirit. It said right here. Spirits of who? The devil. Demonic spirits. And where are they at? They're on the kings of the earth. And where else? They are in the whole world. And what are they working for? What are they trying to get to that? To gather them to that what? Battle of that great day. Of that great day. That the Almighty, right? The Almighty, the Shaddai Allah, that Almighty. Verse 15, behold, I come as a thief. This is why he keep telling you. He's going to come as a thief. You're not going to know. It says people are going to be eating, drinking, getting married, like it's going to be a regular day, just like you woke up today. Just like you woke up today. Behold, I come as a thief. Barak, which means exalted. Blessed is he that what? Watcheth. That's why this lesson is called Watch and Pray. Why? Because the end is coming. He keeps telling us he's coming like a thief in the night, but he keeps telling us Barak, right? Exalted are the ones that are what? Watching and praying. The ones that are watching and praying. All those that are watching and praying, as Paul says in some of his letters, you know, it won't catch you off guard. It won't catch you off guard because why? You are children of the light. You're children of the day. It says, watcheth and what? Keepeth his garment. What is your garment? Your robe. Lest he walk what? Naked. And you don't want to walk naked. You don't want to walk naked. What does it mean to walk naked? You don't have the rakah. You don't have the spirit of the Most High. He's not protecting you. You don't have his protection. We know you have a protection when you walk with the Most High in righteousness, because in Job chapter 1, Satan, Hasatan himself, said, I cannot get to Job because you have a hedge around him. He has your protection. But when you don't have the Most High's protection and the hedge around you, then you're walking what? As naked. That refers back to Genesis with Adam and Eve when they said we are naked now. They were speaking physically, but spiritually they were naked because now they had departed from what? The Most High, because they did not hearken, or Adam did not hearken to what the Most High told him. So now he was naked. He didn't have that covering. He didn't have that covering. And this is what it's referring back to right here in Revelation 16 and 15. Lest he walk naked and they see his what? Shame. That's why they ran and put fig leaves, because that was a physical part of it. That was a physical part of it. But the spiritual part of it is when them evil spirits, them demonic spirits, when they know you departed from the Most High, they can see, they know. They know. Just like if you see an op or a sister and you know they kind of falling off, they falling away. If you really in the rakah, you really in the spirit, you can kind of sense it. You can kind of feel it. They're not coming around the same. They're not really talking the same. The spirit is like different on them. You kind of like, what's going on with them? That's the spirit resonating with you, letting you know the rakah's telling you like something not right. And then it starts to turn into what? Shame. That's why they don't want to be around you. It's a physical and it's a spiritual thing. Because they feel the shame because what? They have departed from the Most High. And they know it. So make sure you watch, pray, you know, because the end is coming. We know that the end is coming. We have to stay in alignment. And we're always taught to what? Watch and pray. That we enter what? Not into temptation. Don't let it take you as a thief in the night. Let me leave you with this. John chapter, what verse? 11. I believe it's John chapter 11. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. John chapter 11, right? And I'm going to leave you with this. I started 7. It says, then after that saith he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples said unto him, Master, right? Master, Adon, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, meaning they want to kill you. And goest thou there again? Now you know that these Jews, when you was there last time, they was trying to kill you, stone you. And you willing to go up there again? This is what the disciples are saying. Yahawashi answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, meaning the light, right? This is what he's referring to. The light, he stumble not, because he seeth the what? The light of this world. You can really see what this world is really about because you walking in the light. The light has illuminated you. Just like when Moses went to the Most High, the burning bush, and then when he came back, his face was illuminated. He wasn't the same man anymore. He wasn't the same person anymore. Why? Because he could see how this world really was. This is why it was no problem for him to give up those things of Egypt and walk with the Most High. Same thing for all of the apostles. When Hamashiach Yahushua approached them and said, hey, come and follow me, they dropped everything. They dropped everything. Peter didn't turn around and say, but I'm a fisherman. I must stay here. No, he went. And Hamashiach Yahushua told him, he said, hey, you used to be a fisherman of fish, but I'm going to make you a fisherman of what? Men. I'm going to put you on another level. Now you're going to go out and do the real job, which is to bring the men in, bring the sisters in. So he's telling you, as long as you walk in the daytime, which is the light of this world, this is why he gave us light, because when you read in Genesis, it was darkness already here. When you go back to Genesis chapter 1, read that. It says what? Darkness. The earth was what? Darkness and void. Void means it was empty. Emptiness. It was really nothing here. And then what did he bring for? He said, while the spirit of the Rakah of the Most High was hovering over the water, meaning it was water already here. So you had components that were already here, darkness and water. He said, I said, what? Bring forth light. And then he separated the light, right? And he made it what? He called the light day, and he called the darkness what? Night, la'ah in the Hebrew. And this is why Hamashiach Yahushua said right here, if you walk in the day, which is the light, he stumble not, because he seeth the light of the world, of this world. Verse 10, but if any man walk in the night, which is in darkness, representation, wickedness, evilness, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. Let me see something real quick. I want to show you this. Let me see if it's here. If not, we'll get ready to close out. Date. Let me see this. Okay. This is the outline biblical usage, right? And this is the word. This is day, right? Number 1, it says the day, using a natural day, right, is between sunrise and sunset, as distinguishes from the basically the daytime, right? Verse 1, in the daytime. 2, metaphor, the day, as regarded as the time. Listen to this. This is what I wanted. The day, which is light, is regarded as the time for abstaining from indulgence of what? Vice, crime, because acts of this sort are perpetuated at what? Night and in darkness. So the crime and things of this nature, vices, all this stuff is supposed to happen at what? At night in the darkness. But the world has flipped so much now to where they're doing these things in the actual daytime. They're doing these things in the actual day in light. But in the Bible, it says the day, which is the light, is regarded as a time from what? Abstaining from all of this evil. But people are doing this evil in the very day now. in the very light that was given to the earth. That's how far the earth has fallen. Let's look up night real quick. I just want to go to night. Let me just see it. See what it says. Night, outline biblical uses, the time when work ceases. So we're not supposed to work at night. People do. This is the way this system, this world is built up. But the way the Most High had it set up, we're not supposed to be working at night. Once the sun goes down, we're not supposed to be doing any work. Why? Because that's when you rest and go to sleep. It says it's the time of what? Death. The time for deeds of what? Here it is. It's right here in biblical. All you got to do is go to the biblical usage. The time for deeds of sin and what? Shame. Verse 3, the time of moral stupidity and what? Darkness. The time when the weary and also the drunken give themselves up to what? Slumber. So it's telling you what night, darkness represents, you know. It's telling you all these things. So just remember, Yahawashi says, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in a day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. And if you a believer and you believe on the Father, Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, you are a child of light. Therefore, you walk in the day, and you will not stumble because you see the light of this world. And it says, watch and pray. Why? Because you know the end is coming, it's at hand, and it's here. So be watchful, stay prayed up, you know, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi. The sister Dorothy says, Kara, people will say I'm negative. Don't worry about what people say. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. But I'm surrounded by wickedness and will never receive my stamp of approval. I don't like it. That's why I say don't worry about what people say. Because those people may be the wicked people, even though they calling on the name of the Most High and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi. Like he said, just because somebody call on my name, just because somebody got fringes on, just because somebody know the Hebrew, just because, don't mean that they truly serving the Most High. And understand, everybody has different levels. You have been called to another level, to go further than the average individual, go much more than the average sister. So another sister might look down on you because you have surpassed her and she doesn't understand what you're saying or how you live or what you're talking about. The same thing for the brothers. Just keep going. Just keep going. Always remember Hamashiach Yahawashi. Listen, everybody left. Everybody, all the disciples left. When it was time for him to lay down his life, there was nobody there. When he was hung on the tree, I believe it was Mary, the mother, Mary Magdalene, and John. Everybody else was gone. And he had thousands of people following him, listening to him, tuned in to him, going to the temple every day. You just keep going. This is why he says in Philippians, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You can't be worried about nobody else. And it's sad to say, but you got to be worried about you, the Most High, Hamashiach Yahawashi, and those that are on your level. You just keep pushing forward, keep going. All praises be to the Most High. Yeah, don't worry about that. It says, to the world, our light is darkness. 100% agree. And the world evil, good. I'm staying in the light as best as I can. And that's all we could do. That's all we could do. That's all he asks of you. Put forth your great effort, your greatest effort. You know, that's all you could do. Train like you training for a fight, like you training for, you training yourself to go to the kingdom, basically. And you live your life like that every day. That's all you could do. You can only give what you got. So you give all that you got. You give all that you got. And believe me, he sees it. You know, he sees it. Calm. Moral decay, like a tooth cavity. Gone. You can only give what you got, you know. And whatever you have, you give it. And you just keep pushing forward, you know. And you know, you can't worry about everybody else. Sometimes people gonna drop off. You just pray and hope that they come around later, or that, you know, the Most High open up their eyes. Or if it's you and you missing something, and that Aqua, which is sister, she's on another level or he's on another level, you always pray for understanding. You know, say, you know, Most High, please let me understand what it is they understanding, if it's the right thing to understand. You know, if I'm missing something, I don't understand something, you know, reveal it to me, please. Open up my understanding so I can see what they see. I can understand what they understand. If it's your will, Yahawah. If not, lead me where you want me. You know, because everybody has different paths. I believe it was Paul and Barnabas. They separated. They had disagreements. Paul wanted to do one thing, and I believe take Mark, and Barnabas didn't want to take him, and they was having words back and forth. And I think it was Luke or Mark, you know, and they was having words, and then they separated. One went one way, one went the other way. You know, when Paul came into the ministry, he went off and just started preaching. It was years before he went up and kind of got with the elders in the Zaquan. You know, he was out doing his own thing. So people are not going to always understand what it is that the Most High has called you for, or the life the Most High has called you to live. You just keep pushing forward and know that you're living for him. That's all you can do. You can't please everybody. You know, you can't please everybody. So just keep moving forward, looking forward. And, you know, I pray one day that, hey, if Yahweh will, that we'll see each other in the kingdom, you know, and we all make it there. You know, that's what we fighting for. That's what even though we're under grace and things like that, it says you must endure to the end. So let's just continue on to the end until we're taken from here, you know, and give praises to the Most High, the Ancient of Days, the Giver of Life, the Taker of Life, and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, for all he has done for us, laying down his life, you know. So with that being said, hopefully this message was edifying. And if you believe that it was edifying, please share this message to all of the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners of the earth, because we must be watchful and we must pray always, constantly, to know what the end is coming, so it doesn't take us by surprise. As he says, I'm coming as a thief in the night, but not for us, because we are aware. We are the children of the light. We walk in the light. We walk in the day. So if we hear the trumpet go off right now, we already know. As soon as the trumpet go off, we going to just fall to our knees and say, all praises be to the Most High. Finally, Yahawah, all praises. And we hope that we get called to meet our brother and go to Zion with him. You know, so all praises be to the Most High, Yahawah, for that. Please join me on the next live, 10 a.m., Yahawah willing. And I'm going to play this video as I go out. But Kwam Yasharala to everybody. Shalawam, Thawada, for all that tune in and will tune in a later day. And may you have a beautiful rest of your day, Barak day. And Thawada Ahchyam for being here. She says, Thawada, for your time, Barakatah. All praises be to the Most High. You know, and I say this time was given to all of us by the Most High. So it's not even my time. It's his time. This is why we have to be careful what we do with the time that he has given us, because it's his time. And at any day, any hour, any minute, any second, he could take it. He could take his rakat back. This is his spirit. I'm on borrowed time. We all are, you know. And at any day, he said, you know what? That's enough. Boom. And I'm gone. And then when that day of judgment comes, it's going to say, hey, what did you do? You was down there for X amount of days, X amount of years. What did you do? Especially after I have given you and revealed the truth to you. What did you do? Did you continue to live a life of wickedness, or did you give your life to me and truly love me with all your heart, mind, and soul? So all praises be to the Most High. She says, amen. All praises. I'm going to play this video. And like I say, tune in on the next live. at 10 a.m. and then the Shabbat 12 p.m. And on the first day, 6 p.m. So here's the video. Kwam Yasharallah and Shalawam.
The day of the Lord coming. Now with hope, now with peace. False prophet talk smooth, but the righteous burn hotter. Let's bring the heat. This that 2 Peter 5, truth never tired, element melt, world in the pie. He coming back, not sweet but dire. Heaven roll back, skies on fire. False teachers talk, we expose the liar. Law in my heart, spirit my wire. The righteous ride, wicked expire. Oh, yeah, this that 2 Peter 5. They so.
Remember what those guys in purple were preaching about in 2 Peter? It's happening. What? Send out the men, hurry!
Time. We need to get ready.
This is what we trained for.
Stay sharp.
World in the pie. He coming back, not sweet but die. Heaven roll back, skies on fire. False teachers talk, we expose the liar. Law in my heart, spirit my wire. The righteous rise, wicked expire. Oh, yeah, it's that 2 Peter fire. They love pleasure more than faith. Mock the truth but can't escape. They walking after lust and hate. I feel the sin, that's their fate. Why the judge man suffer, stand tall. We wait on new heaven, new earth that call. Element burns, fall. Prophecy real, no myth at all. Every word revealed by flame. No more shame, no more game. The day of the Lord, judgment reign. Ain't no peace with them that profane. So I move clean, watch and pray. Keep my sword sharp every day. The world pass, but you gon' stay. He coming back with fighters. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. The heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Does that 2 Peter 5, truth never die. Element world in a pie. He coming back, not sweet but die. Heaven roll back, skies on fire. False teachers talk, we expose the liar. Law in my heart, spirit my wire. The righteous rise, wicked expire. It's that 2 Peter 5. Righteousness reign. New heaven, new earth. The wicked had their seed. New heaven, new earth. Now the kingdom burns clean. All praises to the Most High.